Here are some beginner's tips to help you get started in Donkey Kong Bananza. Donkey Kong's moveset makes him an absolute powerhouse for obliterating everything in his path, and whilst he can scale pretty much every surface, you might want to invest in the double jump ability early on, as it can give you that added extra boost which is sometimes needed for accessing difficult to reach Banandium gems. And don't forget, the more gems, the faster you level up. This brings me nicely onto my next tip: skill points. This isn't exactly a Fallout style RPG which requires in-depth thought about what to progress in first. That being said, the trick to leveling up your skills generally is to find Banandium gems, and so I found investing in your sonar ability so you can see collectibles at longer distances is definitely worth it early on. Think about it, if you find more gems, you get more skill points and you can level up DK faster, improving his movesets a lot quicker, making the mid to end game easier to handle, where you will likely rely on everything in DK's bombastic arsenal. Now, this next tip may not apply to everyone, but I found that the button they've assigned for jump just felt a bit unnatural. For me, the B button feels more logical, whether that's muscle memory from previous games or I'm just a bit odd. Whatever the case, the devs clearly had people like me in mind and provided an option in the settings to reverse jump and downward punch. So now I have the jump on B and downward punch on A. Donkey Kong Bananza is all about exploration. Well, if you call smashing, destroying and obliterating everything in your path to get to your treasure exploration, it can seem very intimidating at first, seeing how many collectibles there actually are, particularly the fossils. Luckily, you can obtain hints to Banandium gems and fossil locations in the world by finding treasure maps in chests. Even better, treasure chests can spawn randomly as you dig around, and before you know it, you've uncovered 5 or 6 fossil and gem locations just by bombarding your way through a rock face. You can even get clothes, which increase the likelihood of treasure chests spawning. So before you go out there and purchase a ton of maps from one of the shops, try this method first. Last tip is understanding the world itself, specifically the gravity. Unlike other games with destructible environments, in Donkey Kong Bananza, structures just won't crumble if you destroy the bottom section. The rest of the structure will remain magically in place, static and floating in the air. So you really have to think differently when solving some of the puzzles in the game, and don't just assume that if there's a collectible at the top of a rock column, you can just smash out the bottom and it will fall down, because it won't. This leads you to think a bit more creatively. I had an example in an underground cave where a Banandium gem was stuck in a rock in the ceiling. I destroyed the rock, expecting it to fall down. Of course it didn't. This led me and my partner to think a bit differently and create a platform on the wall, which I could then use to leap up and destroy that juicy green Banandium gem. You have to treat the entire world in Donkey Kong Bananza as a mold to be sculpted. It might be tempting at first to go full maniac and destroy everything around you, but it does help to have some more finesse when creating the environment, as a lot of puzzles require some clever thinking to dig up or around obstacles, and done in a way where you won't trap yourself in an underground hell maze, lost with no way out, which has happened to me on multiple occasions. So I hope some of these tips have helped you, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to share to help the rest of us make the most out of this amazing game.